writers, it's Misty W with another mini lesson on journal writing. And before we begin, I just want to remind you that every time we get together, our purpose is always the same. It's always to keep a written record of what life is like during this unique time period when we're learning from home during the coronavirus pandemic. And we are writing for our future selves when we can no longer remember all the things that have been happening to us, and also for future historians who want to study the source document that we are creating to understand what life was like during this historic period. Today's lesson is one of my favorites. It is called For the Love of Lists. Now, I love writing lists. They're very satisfying and they're a lot of fun to write. So today I want to show you why people write lists, why they're so much fun, and some of the types of lists that you can write. So to begin with, why do people write lists? Well, I think the number one reason why people write lists is to remember things. For example, they like to remember the things that they have to do. Maybe your mom or dad or someone at home writes lists of the things that they need to get, like at the grocery store, I do, and then also the things that they need to accomplish in a day. I do that too. Another thing that they try to remember when they make lists is things to treasure, like the people, make a list of people who you really love, or a list of people who you're really appreciative for, or your favorite movies or your favorite books, things that you treasure. Another reason why people keep lists is to keep things in order, to create order out of them. So I know one kind of really popular list are top 10 lists. People love to write those. Like maybe your top 10 movies or your top 10 video games or your top 10 books. Now, when you write a top 10 list, you can either write them in order of best to worst or worst to best. Maybe, this is just a recommendation, when you're writing a top 10 list, you start with your worst and end with your best so that when you're done with your writing, you leave on a positive note. I think I'll try that next time. One of the reasons why I love lists is because of all the choices we have when we're making them. And you guys can probably come up with even more choices than I've thought of. So one thing about lists is that one of the choices you can make is you can make them really short and sweet, right? They don't have to be 20 pages long. Maybe you just have a list of 1 or 2 or 3 things. Or you might choose otherwise, and you can make an ongoing list. That means that you start a list and then you keep adding to it. So I have an ongoing list of books that I want to read. And I keep adding and adding and adding to them so I never forget. Another thing that you can make a choice around is you can decide if you make your list with numbers, or you can make a list with bullets. That's a choice you have. Now, there are a lot of types of lists that you can come up with. You know, the sky's your limit. I have a few that I've been wanting to make, so I'm going to share them with you, and maybe that will spark an idea for you of the kind of list you'll write when we're done with this lesson. So one kind of list I've been making is all the things that I want to do when we go back to school. For example, I can't wait to come back to your classes and read you books in person. I cannot wait for that. I cannot wait to see the other teachers and the principals because I miss them and I can't wait to give them a hug. I can't wait to see your parents drop you off. That's another exciting thing for me. I can't wait to go to an assembly again. There's so many things I can't wait to do when we go back to school. Another kind of list that I have been making are the things that I'm grateful for. Right now, I'm really grateful for a lot of different kinds of people, like all the essential workers that have been helping us, my family members. There's so many people I'm grateful for. So I've been keeping a list of things I'm grateful for. Now, these are kind of positive things, but it's absolutely okay to keep lists of things that kind of make you sad, right? So you can even make a list of things that you miss or, that are really bumming you out during the coronavirus pandemic. That's perfectly normal. What are the things that you've been missing, like birthday parties or trips or your friends or learning with your teacher? That's a perfectly good list to write. And I'll tell you something, down the sad feelings we're having, that helps us feel better. So I would encourage that if you're feeling sad. Now, you guys know me. I already said I'm keeping lists of books, but I don't just keep lists of books I want to read. I've been keeping lists of books I have read. So I've already read 20 books during the coronavirus pandemic, all kinds of books. I've been keeping a list of those, and then I keep another ongoing list of books I want to read. So, what list are you going to make? You have so many different choices of how you'll do it and what you'll write about. I hope, writers, you take some time and you think of some lists that you want to make. You can make one or two or as many as you want. They can be short and sweet, they can be ongoing, however you'd like. Those are the choices that you have to make as a writer. So, writers, take a second, look at my chart, think about the list that you'll make. Go find a cozy spot and make one for yourself. Off you go.